Hello, welcome to IABM TV. I'm joined today by Ed Calverley, VP of Product for Suitcase TV. Ed, welcome to IABM TV.
Hi.
So can you tell us a little bit about Suitcase TV, please?
Sure. So Suitcase has been around since the year 2000. We are a technology company trying to find innovative ways to use technology to improve people's workflows, basically. Find new ways of doing things.
And last year you won a IABM Design and Innovation Award for your iPhrame vision. Can you tell us what you're doing with this at the show?
So yeah, that was a very new concept at the time. This was doing remote production where we keep all the high res at the remote site, and using some of the technology we've got allowed a client to be remotely located but not on a very high bandwidth link. Since winning the award, we've been partnering with a couple of companies to take this further and do some trials. We did a big trial with BBC Sport over this summer for the Euro 2016 event, so we were doing a remote production with sources from Paris being remotely controlled from their facility in the UK, but also having a second stage mixing in the UK from other sources, all squirreled away behind one user interface. So from an operational point of view, it looked like one mixer, but it was all actually a two-stage mixer behind the scenes. So it was quite powerful. It was quite a successful trial, and now we're showing that at the show. So.
Okay. So when in the sort of description of the iPhrame vision, you say it enables broadcast companies to begin the transition to IP without expensive, large-scale changeover. How important do you think that is to a user?
A lot of what we're seeing at the moment with IP, it's looking at just trying to replace what was traditionally SDI links with IP, which is forcing people to invest in quite a lot of new infrastructure without actually giving them anything new. What we're trying to do with iPhrame is a truly end-to-end IP solution, so relatively low cost in comparison to broadcast hardware, but allows you to do new things. So it's not just about replacing the traditional. Most people have the traditional kit. That's going to have another 5 years lifespan. We're trying to open up new opportunities to do lower cost production for different types of events and different ways of working with different operators. So it's had a lot of interest.
Okay. And you also say that it's designed to be operated by staff with little or no experience, and how important is that? It's easy to use.
Some people like that, and some people don't. So some of the use cases we've been where iPhrame is in use is for things like live compliance, where a non-traditional operator, should I say, who might also have responsibilities for doing Twitter and things like that, is monitoring a live feed, and if there's simple things like swear words go out, they just need to put apologies up, or they might need to cut the feed if something significant happens. But it's not really a vision mixing job. It's just the ability to cut away and do mixed decisions. That kind of operator needs a very different user interface, very simple, big clear buttons that say do this, do that, and can be trained in 10 minutes to operate it. So we started at that end, and with the Euro trial we've kind of gone a bit further down the line of doing more fully traditional style program preset bus operation, still trying to make it simple to learn, because we do see this opening up new productions that would be lower cost. So it's not going to be the vision mixer operator who's used to a big giant desk. This is a slightly different market.
Okay. So also at the show you're showcasing your MediaStor Archive. Can you tell us a little bit about that product?
So yeah, we launched that at NAB this year. That's been quite successful so far. It is a one new chassis that we can squeeze 16 hard disks in that essentially give us a total of 128 terabytes of archive storage. Wow. We're using SMR hard disk, which is a new disk technology, which is much lower cost than traditional SATA disks, and it allows us to have quite an attractive price point for a scaling archive solution. It isn't your traditional NAS storage. We have that still in our MediaStor product, but this bolts onto MediaStor to give you that slightly cheaper tiered storage that you can move things on and scale it as you go. So it's it's quite an attractive product.
So scalability that you mentioned there is, in the past people would always aim to make everything future-proof, but is it even possible to make things future-proof now? Does everybody want the ability to be able to scale it according to their needs?
Yeah, I mean everybody's different. The important thing is no one wants to invest in a very large solution anymore. Yeah. Yes, you can buy infinitely scalable systems, but often the upfront cost of buying into them is quite high. With the MediaStor product, what we're trying to do is allow people to keep using their existing storage, but add more storage alongside it that can work quite closely with it and can be, you can build upon it over time. So it doesn't require a big forklift transfer of all your data across.
So you mentioned that it's 128 terabytes. What are the challenges that come with that? Surely there's got to come a point where, like when you're folding a piece of paper, you keep folding it, and eventually you can't fold it anymore. Surely there must be a time when you've reached capacity of how you can. How much
potentially,
you can store.
I mean, it's important to note that 128 is pretty much usable space. Yeah. That is not, I mean, we list it as the raw capacity, but the way we're using it, because we're using it as an archive storage, not doing a RAID stripe on it, it's actually, we can utilise over 95% of that disk. We use the disk we're using. There's a new version which is a 10 terabyte disk which pushes our capacity to 160 terabytes. That's not available yet, but should be later this year. And obviously, as disk technology increases, the chances are it's going to keep going. There's been some interesting scientific papers that show a potential tenfold increase in disk storage capacity coming in the next few years. Wow. So I think the trend's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, which again, the architecture is such that if you buy a 128 terabyte blade now and then later this year you buy a 160 terabyte blade or just buy the disks to upgrade it, you can keep running all of these alongside each other. You don't have to throw them away and get the next big thing. So.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Great. Good to be here. Thanks.